I'm Sabrina Zainal, and this is Nightline, news making the headlines. Anwar Prabowo discussed direction to strengthen Malaysia-Indonesia ties. And 4 more people held over suspected links to arrested Israeli man. Good morning. We begin with this story. Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim's meeting with Indonesian President-elect Prabowo Subianto on Thursday discussed, among others, the next direction to be taken towards further strengthening Malaysia-Indonesia ties. Prabowo's courtesy visit was part of the Indonesian Defense Minister's special one-day visit to Malaysia. During the meeting at his office in Putrajaya, Anwar and Prabowo also took the opportunity to share their experiences and exchange views on their respective political journeys. The Prime Minister noted that their experiences were almost similar, as both had faced various challenges before their respective appointments as Prime Minister and President. Anwar said Prabowo also shared about his time as a student in Malaysia when he studied at Victoria Institution in KL. While congratulating and wishing good luck to Prabowo, who is set to be inaugurated as the 8th President of Indonesia, Anwar also expressed hope that the friendship between the two neighboring countries would continue to be strong and strengthened for mutual benefit. Meanwhile, Malaysia and Indonesia have affirmed their commitment towards strengthening defense cooperation between the two nations. The commitment was strengthened following a courtesy visit by Indonesia's President-elect and Defense Minister Prabowo Subianto to Defense Minister Dato Sri Muhammad Khalid Nordin at Wisma Pertahanan. In a statement following the meeting, Muhammad Khalid expressed confidence in Prabowo's vast experience and efforts in defense, especially which are expected to improve regional stability and security. The meeting, which lasted almost an hour, was their first meeting since Muhammad Khalid became the defense minister last year. Also present were Deputy Defense Minister Adli Zahari, Chief of Defense Forces General Tan Sri Muhammad Abdul Rahman, Army Chief General Dato Muhammad Hafizuddin, Air Force Chief General Tan Sri Muhammad Asghar Khan Goriman Khan, and Navy Chief Admiral Tan Sri Abdul Rahman Ayub. Both ministers also expressed confidence that strong cooperation will ensure the continued implementation of existing and future activities. This will work to elevate the defense relationship between Malaysia and Indonesia to a higher level. On another matter, the government, through the National Finance Council, has agreed to improve grants and financial support for each state, amounting to 8.9 billion ringgit this year, an increase compared to 8.3 billion last year. Dato Sri Anwar also expressed his hope that the enhancement of grants to state governments can directly benefit all Malaysians, regardless of ethnicity, religion, or geography. The Prime Minister said this was decided during the National Finance Council meeting, which he chaired on Thursday. The meeting was also attended by all Menteri Besar and Chief Ministers. Anwar, who is also the Finance Minister, said the federal government is committed to collaborating with all state governments to advance comprehensive national development. The ministry said that the increase included state road maintenance grants of 5.4 billion ringgit, aside from the additional annual special grants to Sarawak and Sabah, significantly increased to 300 million ringgit each. As for development expenditure, as much as 39.4 billion ringgit is provided for this year to carry out state development projects, compared to 36.7 billion ringgit in 2023 and 28.8 billion in 2022. The state government's application concerning readiness to address any emergency or natural disaster, such as floods and landslides, which may cause damage to roads and bridges, was also approved. In this regard, the Council approved the purchase of the temporary Bailey bridges using the one-off state road maintenance grant for this year and increased the limit to fund expenses related to state road maintenance by 10% or 10 million ringgit, whichever is lower. 4 more people have been arrested in connection with the Israeli man caught with 6 guns and 200 bullets last month. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Razak Hussain said the 4 individuals are suspected to have played a role in the smuggling of firearms. Razak, when contacted by TV3, said the 2 men and 2 women were arrested in Skudai and Gelang Patah in Johor on Wednesday night during an operation dubbed Op Shalom. During the raid in Gelangpata, a male suspect who was detained tested positive for methamphetamine. Further checks revealed that the suspect has a previous drug record and is on the police wanted list. He was arrested along with a 27-year-old female suspect. The woman also tested positive for methamphetamine, however, checks found no previous criminal records. Meanwhile, a second raid in Skudai resulted in the arrest of another couple. The male, aged 37, tested positive for methamphetamine and has 7 previous records related to drugs. The 41-year-old female suspect also tested positive for the same substance and was also on the police wanted list. Police also seized 5 mobile phones and a car belonging to the suspects. On March 27th, the 38-year-old Israeli man was arrested with 6 guns and 200 bullets in his possession after entering the country using a French passport. Police previously arrested a married couple from Kuala Selangor for allegedly supplying firearms to the main suspect and a Malaysian in Cameron Highlands for allegedly being the driver for the Israeli since his arrival on March 12th. In other news, the government has agreed to terminate the services of the Malaysian Visa Application Handling Agency, APPM, starting with Bangladesh on January 1st this year. Home Minister Dato Seri Ismail said the termination for other countries, including 2 non-source countries, namely Singapore and Hong Kong, will be carried out on May 31st, 2024.
Objektif utama penamatan ini adalah untuk mempertingkatkan kecekapan proses pengambilan pekerja asing dengan mengurangkan lapisan birokrasi yang tidak memberi nilai tambah pada kerajaan. Selain daripada itu, majikan tidak lagi dibebankan dengan kos yang perlu dibayar kepada ejen pengendali visa asing ini.
Saifuddin said that the government is guided by 4 principles, which includes reducing migration costs, expediting the management process, and ensuring the welfare of foreign workers, as well as safeguarding the interests of employers. Based on these principles, the minister said that the government has granted ID access to employers to apply for visas for foreign worker categories, where the visa application process now depends entirely on employers. Meanwhile, the Health Ministry is currently reviewing the procedures for deposits and bank guarantees in terms of rates and collection methods to ensure they are sufficient to cover the medical expenses of foreigners seeking treatment at its facilities. Deputy Health Minister Dato Lukanisman Awang Sauni said as of February, a total of 823 companies had signed bank guarantee agreements with the ministry for medical facilities for their foreign workers.
Melalui perjanjian ini, syarikat swasta perlu membayar jaminan bank berdasarkan bilangan pekerja. Sebagai contoh, syarikat swasta perlu mengadakan jaminan bank sebanyak 2,500 jika bilangan pekerjanya mencapai 200 orang.
Lukanisman said if medical bills are not settled within the specified period, deductions from the bank guarantee will be made to cover the outstanding payments involved. He also said that the ministry had mandated the collection of deposits from foreign patients for every hospital admission, as per Clause 14 of the Fees for Medical Cost of Services Order 2014. Last year, a total of 72,078 foreigners received treatment at government health facilities, contributing to a total of 257 million ringgit in fees collected, while the total amount of unpaid medical fees from foreigners in the country last year was 40 million ringgit. The Election Commission, EC, has set polling day for the Kuala Kubu Baru state by-election in Selangor on May 11th. EC Chairman Tan Sri Abdul Ghani Saleh said the nomination day and early voting day are on April 27th and May 7th, respectively.
Daftar pemilih pilihan raya DPPR yang akan digunakan untuk PRK Dewan Negeri N06 Kuala Kubu Baru Selangor adalah daftar pemilih terkini sehingga daftar pemilih tambahan bulan Februari 2024 yang dikemas kini sehingga 25 Mac 2024 yang mengandungi seramai 40,226 orang pemilih.
Abdul Ghani said this at a media conference after chairing a special meeting at Menara SPR on Thursday to discuss the important dates relating to the Kuala Kubu Baru by-election. The DPPR for the by-election will go on sale on April 22nd, with the 14-day campaign period starting from the nomination of candidates on April 27th until 11:59 p.m. on May 10th. Commenting further, Abdul Ghani said that overall the Kuala Kubu Baru by-election required an allocation of 2.5 million ringgit. The Nomination Centre, PPC, and the Official Vote Totalling Centre, PPRU, for the by-election will be located at the Hulu Selangor Multipurpose Hall and the District Sports Complex. A total of 18 regular polling stations with 74 polling channels and 2 early voting centres with 3 early voting channels will be set up for the election. The state seat fell vacant following the death of its incumbent, Lee Ki-hyung, on March 21st after battling cancer in the past few years. Taiwan quake death toll climbs to 10. News from the foreign front when we return.
Keindahan bulan Ramadan bukan hanya pada sajian berbuka, tetapi juga pada rancangan keagamaan yang bermakna.
Puasa yang difardukan ke atas kamu adalah tidak jauh beza daripada puasa yang difardukan ke atas umat-umat sebelum kamu.
Itulah malam yang dicari, itulah malam yang kita ingin beribadah kepada Allah.
Bukan serban, bukan jubah, tapi ayat pertama, perintah pertama, Iqra.
Saksikan di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Boleh ke cinta pertama berkekalan?
Kalau abang sudi, saya terpaksalah terima.
Boleh ke wabak zombie ni dihapuskan?
Budak pun zombie tau.
Boleh ke misi Sifu dan Tongga diselesaikan? Boleh ke cinta dibeli? Semuanya boleh di slot wayang setiap Jumaat 1.30 tengah hari di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Saya dah hilang dah mak dia, lepas tu hilang anak-anak lagi.
Biar saya struggle sekarang untuk besarkan anak-anak macam mana, sebab satu hari saya pasti akan tinggalkan orang juga.
Dari segi fizikalnya tidak ada sebarang cacat celah. Tetapi kenapa tingkah laku dia berbeza dengan anak-anak yang lain?
On to the foreign front. Gaza's health ministry on Thursday said the death toll from Zionist strikes on the Gaza Strip has topped 33,000, with more than 75,600 people injured. The ministry said in a statement that the Zionist regime killed 62 Palestinians and wounded 91 others over the past 24 hours. Officials added that children in Gaza are living in a tragic reality of deteriorating health and psychological conditions and food insecurity, with the number of those who died of famine in northern Gaza reaching at least 30. Meanwhile, Israel has said it is interested only in a temporary truce to free the captives. Hamas, however, said it will let them go only as part of a deal to permanently end the war, with Hamas's senior political leader Ismail Haniyeh stressing that his movement will stick to its conditions for a ceasefire in Gaza. Meanwhile, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is facing growing political pressure as 3 former Supreme Court justices have joined more than 600 legal experts in calling for the UK government to end weapons sales to Israel. The legal academics and retired senior judges called for the government to halt the sales to Israel, saying it could make Britain complicit in genocide in Gaza. British sales are lower than those of other countries, including Germany and Italy, and dwarfed by the billions supplied by its largest arms supplier, the United States. However, a UK ban would add diplomatic and political pressure on Israel at a time when its conduct in the Gaza conflict is coming under renewed international scrutiny. The pressure on Sunak rose after 7 aid workers, including 3 British nationals, were killed by a Zionist air attack on Gaza.
Sky,
In Iran, at least 11 security force members have been killed in an attack on an Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps headquarters in the southeastern border province of Sistan-Baluchistan. The attack took place in the towns of Chabahar and Razak in Sistan-Baluchistan, which borders Afghanistan and Pakistan. It was reported that 10 security officers were injured in the fighting in the impoverished region, which has a predominantly Sunni Muslim population. Pakistan-based militant group Jaish al-Adil has claimed responsibility for the attacks that also killed 16 of their members. Deputy Interior Minister Majid Mirahmadi, meanwhile, said that the militants failed to succeed in achieving their goal of seizing the Guard's headquarters. Taiwan raced to rescue hundreds of trapped and missing people on Thursday, a day after an earthquake, the biggest on the island in 25 years, killed at least 10 people. According to the Central Disaster Response Center, the death toll from Wednesday's 7.4 magnitude tremor ticked up slightly from the earlier toll of 9. As of 12 p.m. local time, there were 1,099 people injured, 705 people trapped, and 50 still missing. So far, 26 of about 50 hotel workers traveling to a resort in Taroko National Park have been found, and 6 people who had been trapped in a mining area were rescued by helicopter. Officials said most of those trapped were at a hotel and activity center in eastern Taiwan's Taroko National Park, which was cut off by a road damaged by the quake, and that they had been confirmed to be safe. Recently, Taiwan authorities have taken major steps to improve earthquake preparedness, resulting in far fewer casualties than have been reported in earthquakes of similar strength in other countries. Mount Merapi, straddling the border of Central Java and Yogyakarta provinces, experienced 6 lava eruptions on Thursday, with the lava reaching distances of up to 1.5 kilometers. According to Yogyakarta Geological Disaster Technology Research and Development Center, the volcanic material projection during an explosive eruption could extend up to 3 kilometers from the peak. It said that lava and pyroclastic flows pose a threat to areas southwest within 5 to 7 kilometers and southeast within 3 to 5 kilometers. Following the eruption, nearby residents were urged to remain vigilant and not to engage in any activities within the hazardous zones. In the meantime, the center would keep Mount Merapi at level 3 or alert, indicating the ongoing risk from the volcano. Leverkusen cruise past Dusseldorf into German Cup final. Sports right after this breather.
Hey! Sekejap Mira tukar baju sekejap. Tunggu!
Mami, cepatlah!
So sampai je sini, dia bukan mainlah pun nak menyoping macam Mami dia juga. Dia kalau bawa beli baju ni, samalah. Tak apa, kuning ke hijau? Hijau. Hari ini anda bersama Mira dalam rancangan Masak Sendiri Dekat Rumah. Jangan lupa saksikan saya Amira Rosli bersama keluarga dalam Oh Mami hanya di TV3.
Baru pukul 2 petang, sempat lagi nak layan cerita pilihan setiap Sabtu sebelum berbuka. Restu Ramadan 23 Mac.
Alah, apalah yang nak dirisaukan? Kau ni macam-macam lah.
Ramadan terindah nurani 30 Mac.
Kahwin dengan kau. untuk aku jadikan kau mantu rumah aku.
7 hari nak raya, 6 April.
Mas jangan mas.
Ramadan Raya macam dulu-dulu di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Keindahan bulan Ramadan bukan hanya pada sajian berbuka, tetapi juga pada rancangan keagamaan yang bermakna.
Batu ini didakwa mengeluarkan 12 mata air untuk menghilangkan dahaga 12 kabilah Bani Israel.
Faktor usia yang meningkat membuatkan kesihatan mizan semakin hari semakin merosot.
Saksikan di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
We're back with sports football, the German Cup. Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen stand on the verge of a historic league and cup double after thrashing Fortuna Düsseldorf 4-0 in their semi-final match on Thursday. Jeremy Frimpong opened the scoring in the 7th minute when he seized on a loose ball and lofted a shot over Düsseldorf's goalkeeper Florian Kastenmeier. Leverkusen then made it 2-0 13 minutes later when Amina Adli fired a low-driven shot into the bottom, executing the hosts' impressive counter-attack. Florian Wirtz put his name on the score sheet just after the half-hour mark when he capitalized on the visitors' defensive mistake before scoring his second in the 60th minute by converting from the spot to seal a convincing 4-0 victory. Leverkusen will play second-tier Kaiserslautern in the final on May 25th. Still on football, the Portugal Cup. Porto are in the driver's seat in the tournament after beating Vitória 1-0 in the first leg of their semi-final clash on Thursday. The first half remained scoreless and Porto's Alan Gonzalo Varela almost broke the deadlock in the added time, but his scorching effort went wide. Vitória tried to find the lead just before the interval, but João Mendes' shot also did not find the back of the net. In the second half, Sergio Conceição managed to snatch a narrow win after Eduardo Costa, or known as Pepe, headed in the ball past Vitória's goalkeeper Bruno Varela in the 52nd minute. The two teams will next face each other in the league on Sunday at Porto, while the second leg of the Portugal Cup will be played on April 17th. On to tennis, the 2024 Houston Open. Top seed Ben Shelton gutted out a challenging 3-set win over Belgian Zizou Berg in their round of 16 clash on Thursday. In his first career match at the tournament, the American lefty overcame a slow start to claw his way back to beat Berg 3-6, 6-4, 6-3. The 20-year-old will take on compatriot Brandon Nakashima next for a place in the last four. In another match, Marcos Giron continued writing his late bloomer career narrative with a convincing straight-set victory 6-4, 6-2 over fellow American J.J. Wolf. Giron will face Italian Luciano Darderi in the quarterfinals, who is also enjoying a career best year on tour. Earlier, Darderi edged out second seed Francisco Cerundolo 6-4, 2-6, 7-6 in an hour and 43 minutes to reach the last 8. The world number 72 won 40% of his return points to put pressure on Cerundolo's serve throughout the match and eventually won the game. Coming up, Port Dickson's mussels confirmed unsafe for consumption.
Malaysia hari ini sepanjang minggu ini.
Berbaki seminggu saja lagi Ramadan, ada pelbagai perkara yang menjadi keutamaan. Antaranya, faktor keselamatan ketika musim perayaan.
Penyakit buah pinggang, bagaimana pemantauan dan juga penjagaannya.
Mi kolo, nasi ambeng, burasa antara makanan warisan Malaysia. Apakah kriterianya sehingga diwartakan sebagai makanan milik Malaysia?
Persediaan Hari Raya, pakai baju lama ke beli baju baru?
Semua ini di MSI Isnin hingga Jumaat.
Jam 9.30 pagi hingga 10.30 pagi di TV3.
Dan stream melalui Tonton.
Mami, kenapa Mami?
Salah dan dosa kau sebab kau kahwin dengan anak aku.
Bila benci bersarang di hati, hilang rasa simpati.
Sekali kau benci kau, sampai bila kau benci aku?
Hanya waktu akan mengungkap derita yang tersembunyi. Dosa Semalam, Sabtu ini 10 malam. Ramadan Raya macam dulu-dulu di Cereka Rama TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
I invent sendiri.
Oh, I tahu. You selalu masak untuk I.
Apa?
Telur goreng.
Oh, bau dia kurang. Wow, amazing.
ASMR time.
Apa jadi?
Terputus tangan.
Thanks for staying with us. In Kelantan, a hawker was charged at the Kota Baru Sessions Court on Thursday for allegedly raping an underage girl on March 27th. 24-year-old ID Edham Jafridin, however, pleaded not guilty after the charges were read out to him before Judge Nik Habri Muhammad. Now, according to the charge, ID was accused of raping a 13-year-old girl at a house in Gunung Bachok in Kelantan on March 27th. The accused was charged under the Penal Code, which carries a maximum penalty of imprisonment of up to 20 years and whipping. The court then allowed the accused to be bailed for 12,000 ringgit with one surety, with the condition that he does not disturb the witnesses and reports to the Gunung Police Station once a month. Judge Nik Habri then set May 6th as the next mention for the case. Mussels found in waters off the resort town in Port Dickson have been contaminated by dangerous biotoxins and are not safe for consumption. This after tests carried out by the Fisheries Biosecurity Centre detected the presence of harmful algae. Fisheries Department Deputy Director General of Management Wan Aznan Abdullah said tests showed the mussels harvested there had been contaminated by the Prorocentrum, Alexandrium and Pseudonychia algae species. As such, the public has been advised against eating mussels and other bivalves, such as lokan and lala, harvested there for 3 weeks until they are certified safe to eat. However, he said fish, squid, crabs and other marine produce are safe for consumption. Wan Aznan said tests carried out by the department showed that bivalves farmed and fished in other states, such as Malacca and Johor, were safe to eat.
Kita telah buat kajian sampel untuk negeri Melaka. Didapati perairan Melaka selamat dan tidak ada algae toksik di situ. Dan kita juga buat kajian di perairan Johor. Johor jauh dari ini masih lagi juga selamat. Cuma yang kita dapati di perairan Port Dickson saja.
Wan Aznan added that preliminary findings revealed that the algae population had increased drastically due to the unusually hot weather. He said this was the first time such cases had been reported in Port Dickson. On Tuesday, 8 cases of food poisoning then believed to have been caused by eating mussels were reported in the resort town. Negeri Sembilan Health Director Dato Dr. Harlina Abdul Rashid said 2 people were admitted into the intensive care unit of the district hospital after they experienced paralysis. 5 others had been warded for treatment and 1 individual was given outpatient treatment. Of the annual harvest season of calendula flowers, a vital aspect of the country's agricultural industry. With that, I'm Sabrina Zainal. Thank you for tuning in, and to our Muslim viewers, Selamat Bersahur.